right, we're in Cartersville, and we're coming up to this intersection. This is Highway 411, I believe. And so we're going to take a right here. And immediately to our right is the entrance to the Savoy Car Museum. And I'm excited because I came up here before, and it happened to be a Monday, and I was unable to go inside. But this is the entrance here. So there's where it says it's closed on Mondays. And you can see the facility. Obviously flag display, but they have this custom-made piece in the front here that looks like something off of a car from the 50s. Really pretty. And we're going to see if we can't get in there and make some video. This is early on. This is 10 o'clock in the morning, so there's not a lot of people here. And maybe they'll let us do some filming. We'll find out. Beautiful building. And then we have this display right here. That is a massive sculpture. And it talks about it. Linda Brunker, Spirit of Speed. Stainless steel, 40.5 feet by 8.5 by 9.5, and it weighs 5 tons. So it gives a breakdown of that person, and that thing looks small there, but it is quite large. All right, so we have entered the Savoy Automobile Museum. This is your entrance area. They also are interactive with these other museums that are local to the area. So here we have the registration desk, let's say, or where you pay to get in. And then if you're wondering why it's called the Savoy Automobile Museum, when they got this property, they found, and I'll show you, it's outside right now, a Savoy out on the property of this 37-acre lot. And they decided they were having a naming contest, and they said, well, you know what? Savoy it is. Now, as you enter the main part of the museum, there is a visual display here of a 1903 curved dash Oldsmobile, I believe. And it's a really neat display. They show you the number produced and the cost of the vehicle back in that time period. And underneath you'll see that it's on glass or a mirror, and you can look at the underside of the vehicle. You can see the drive mechanism. Really nice display. I mean, it's just well done to see all this work here. Also, you will point out that this car had a tiller rather than a steering wheel, and it had a little bell up here on the tiller that you could warn people if you were going to run them over. As we're looking at this, Robert points out that there is some elaborate paintwork done on the leaf spring, and this leaf spring runs from the front all the way to the rear of the vehicle. It's one piece all the way through. Really interesting design, and so cool to see it on display here and just enjoy this classic vehicle. Also in this area there is a replica of the Ramblin' Wreck from Georgia Tech. Big story behind this history of the Ramblin' Wreck vehicle, and you can look that up online to get more details. This is, I think, one of 5 reproductions, and these are always on display at the Georgia Tech football games. They will have these out on the field, and also in many parades that they use at the college campus. So this is really cool to see. My oldest son went to Georgia Tech, so I'm familiar with this car, or at least the history of this car, and they have quite the history with the college. So as we move on, we come to what they call the Great Hall, and of course we're not here to touch any vehicles. They have these notices all over the place, but this is a section that has Indy cars in it. These are all on loan from the IndyCar Museum, apparently. And we're going to walk around and let's make a loop around and look at these cars. So each one of these cars, I think Lisa said, was a winner of one of the races. So if you look, you'll see this information board up on the front. Gives you specifics about the vehicle, like average race speed, finish first, starting position second, driver, that sort of thing. And then it goes through all this information. And down here, below their nameplate, or the picture, is on loan, basically from the courtesy of Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum. So these vehicles are on loan, and this is just incredible to see these things. I know that the history of these is varied. You look at the designs and how they change things, and just beautiful cars, beautiful cars. And you think about when they raced these things, and they had these what would be considered very narrow tires. So in this case, there's a width of my hand, so that tread width is only about 6 inches, and you can see the grooves on one side and it's smooth on the other. So this car is a 1948 Dite Blue, Crown Special number 3, and finished first both years, starting positions, top speed, average speed, and again on loan from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's just so amazing to see these cars, and you think about these guys racing around. They didn't even have a roll bar, they had seat belts, and this was when men were men, let's say, in the racing world. But over here, again, I don't know what year this one is. Firestone tires, of course. Similar situation. This one has more of a door opening on the side, whereas this one has it on both sides. And this is a 1946 Adams Thorn Engineering Special.
Oh, that's mine.
Yeah. So relative of
That's
Robert,
mine.
apparently.
That's mine. I get to take that one home, right?
Yeah. He said, hey, I should be allowed to drive this. So here it shows that it finished first, average speed 114 miles an hour, and just incredible cars. So we're going to go on around. We'll look at all these Indy cars, and this, again, is the Great Hall. This runs all the way through the middle of the building. Number 14, fuel injection special. Just incredible. 1953 Curtis Craft fuel injection special. Again, breaks down all the speeds. On loan. There's a picture of the winner. Just it's so cool. Think about these cars.
And then when you look at the engineering, of the suspension.
Yeah.
How it was done back then, and like the blue one back there that's got the rotational shocks instead of piston shocks that we're used to today.
Yeah.
And just, I mean, look at the year that was built in, and
yeah,
it looks like something you would design today in a lot of ways. A lot of the manufacturing.
This must be an older one. Look, it's got the skinnier tires on it like a Model A has. So 1922 Duesenberg. Qualifying speed 100 miles an hour, average race speed 94. Imagine doing 100 miles an hour in this thing.
And again, that's your shocks.
Yeah.
Those little round things are your shocks on this.
Yep. And there is the winner and some pictures here, but oh man, just going 100 miles an hour on these skinny little tires. Now, we're going to go to the placard here in a minute, but here's your fuel tank. Looks like a little windscreen, literally. It's a windscreen.
And when you're done with the racing, you go down and play bad, but
yeah. So 1912 National. Qualifying speed 86 miles an hour, average race speed 78. Those tires are even skinnier. And those are wood.
That's what they do with these tires.
Those are, yeah, that's got to be wood.
yeah, those are wood.
Look at that side exhaust, fuel tank. I guess no, maybe that's not a fuel tank. I don't know. Could be two fuel tanks.
That may be a dual fuel tank.
Could be. Had room for two, by the way. I don't know who you'd fit in there because this is here's the width of my hand.
I don't. Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. So let's go over here to this one. And this is 1932 Miller Hart's Special. So you talk about the suspension like you're saying. Mm-hmm. Look at that. That's got to be a solid piece, this bar in the front. And And I mean, half a leaf spring on top, half a leaf spring on the bottom.
Yeah. Okay, so this whole
Yeah.
so that's an interesting suspension on it. It
Well,
really is.
it's 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, but also you've got this brace and it's just
Am I-
kind of where your axle is floating out off the end of two springs.
Yep.
That's just an interesting design choice there.
Yeah, so you like the Miller? Hey,
Hello.
I'm Bruce Patton.
Hello,
I'm the
Bruce.
curator here.
Oh,
At
okay.
the museum. So
Yeah, I was
Robert.
just having with Lisa walking
Yeah.
around looking at the
She said
cars
you guys were out here.
and just enjoying what's here. This is amazing.
Oh, thanks.
To see some of
we
these.
were lucky enough that they're doing a renovation there at the museum.
Yeah.
And so we were able. We actually did 2 different exhibits. This is actually the second one. The second one we saved for winners.
Okay.
Different decades there at
Yeah.
the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum. So, matter of fact, tomorrow night we'll have Paul Page here. Jason Van Sickle, who's the vice president of their curation and
Okay.
education there at the museum, and Ken Gross. And we're going to do a program in our theater
Oh, that'd be
to
awesome.
talk about these cars and also what they got some renditions, kind of a fly through of what the museum's going to look like.
Oh, okay.
So that'll
Yeah.
be here tomorrow.
Yeah, this.
You can come back and see
Well,
that.
I don't know if I'll be able to. We just happen to be. He's visiting with me from Texas,
Okay.
and so I thought this is a great opportunity to come up here and,
Oh, yeah.
and take a look at this stuff. But to see these things in all their glory, really,
Oh yeah,
is just
see the-
incredible.
Yeah, the engineering work.
Yeah,
that-
and,
Yeah.
and that's what I admire is the engineering. It's just in the different approaches to things because it was a time you could do that.
Yeah.
It was open.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything's the same.
They didn't have restrictions like we think about it today. Well, that's awesome. We're going to continue
All right, I'll let you
walking
know.
around, and I appreciate you spending some time with us.
Yeah, no problem.
All right.
You got any questions? Let me know.
Yes, thank you. So here we are coming up on this STP, Valvoline, got all the proper advertising on it, support. So that looks like a turbo back here. Let's see what this is. 1982 Wildcat 8B, I guess is what I would say. STP oil treatment number 20. Gordon Johncock. Qualifying speed 201. Race average speed 600 or 162. So obviously there were some problems in that race to decrease the overall finishing miles per hour. So that's pretty cool. Now this, Al Unser, just incredible. I mean, you look at how the airflow, the little wings they had up front here, the intakes, all these variables that they created, a raised mirror so you could see. And this is 1971 Colt Ford, called it Johnny Lightning. And qualifying speed 174, race average 157. And the Unser family celebrated in Victory Lane for the 3rd time in 4 years. Just, man, what a blast that would be to drive.
You got to get into it first.
Yeah, that would be the challenge. So here we have the number 66, Die Hard Sunoco, Mark Donahue. 1972 McLaren M1, or I guess that's M1, 6B/1. Kind of interesting to come up with some of these names or numbers for these cars. Qualifying speed 191, average race speed 162. It's a McLaren chassis. Mark Donahue and Roger Penske. Gilmore Racing Team, number 14, and that is A.J. Foyt Jr. And so you look here, you see the nose is nice and low, got some deflectors in front of the tires. Little heat exchange. 1977 Coyote, Gilmore Special number 14. Qualified speed 194, race speed 161. 4-time race winner A.J. Foyt. Hard to beat A.J. Foyt. Now what we're going to do here is I'm going to move on to another area, but I want to show you some of this artwork that is on the wall. And there's also some displays back here with toys and different things. But we're going to go up to what they call the Savoy collection. So we moved on to Gallery D, and this one in particular is the actual Savoy collection. They have this section for cars that they own, and this gets rotated in and out of stuff that they keep on storage. So we'll go through here and do a quick look, and this is a variety of cars, which is really cool. So stuff like this is an older Volkswagen Bug. We'll look at the year in just a minute. But what I like about these old Bugs is they had the flip out turn signals on the side, which is just a really neat feature. Of course, this is a split window car. So that tells you right there it's one of the older versions of the Bug. Here we have the inside. And look, you got a little bamboo, I think it was, storage rack in the bottom. I think it was made from bamboo.
And you even had your own TV back then. See, there's your tuner buttons on the side.
So this is a 1951 Volkswagen Beetle. Again, this is part of the Savoy collection. Sold $1,550 back then. Top speed 60 miles per hour. So here's a 1921 Buick Model 45 Touring. And again, as I said, these cars will get rotated in and out from their collection. So if you come to visit, you may see something completely different here at that time. But just beautiful paint. Everything's been redone, refinished. Of course, it has a plaque, a data plate on the floor. But man, just very well done. Now here we have something that we're happy to look at. I'm happy to look at, I can tell you that. 1968 Ford Shelby Cobra GT 500. Yeah, original price $4,317. Again, this is part of their personal collection. You know, you can read all the information about these cars. It's all available there. But what a beauty.
That is a cool car.
So we have the special wheels, GT500, Cobra, all the little accents and stuff you want to have.
Tires.
Yeah, it looks like the right
Or at least of the
reproductions.
era. Yeah.
So, yeah, console was different apparently. It had a Cobra on the in middle there. It's got something else on the dash. Got the rim blow paddle horn on the back of the steering wheel. So some of these are just, I mean, here we are looking at, we talked about gaps all the time. So you can see this car was produced, and even though it's been reconditioned,
Look at the
you know,
gap. The
these
gap to cowl is
Yeah.
3/8 of an inch or more.
yeah,
That's just,
but that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way
That's
they
the
were
way it
made.
was.
Yeah. But I know we're all critical about that. It's like, oh no, the gaps are not right. Even like you look at this here, you can see the gap is inconsistent going around. But that's
And in fact, this is something I'm complaining about right now
On your car.
on mine, and on my ¡66, and that's pretty much the same gap that I have on mine.
Right.
So,
But we all get, and I get stressed over it. I want to have even gaps everywhere. Wow, what a beautiful car. Yeah, even like I said, this is
And-
snug and wide, and
even like
the way it is.
the curve of
Yeah.
the decklet doesn't fit the curve. of
doesn't fit the quarter right.
It's the wrong radius.
Yeah.
That's just the way it was.
Yep. You know, and some of this, they may have designed this door to have this relief there just for closing, just so they don't run the risk of hitting things.
And as your door drops or something, it's going to get closer, so that would make sense.
And there's the roll bar, and I'm assuming a fold-down rear seat. I can't tell just by looking at it, but
Yeah,
I think
it
it
is.
is.
It
Okay,
is.
yeah, fold-down rear seat. But just so nice to see these on display.
And again, it is just a nice reference. If you're building one of these cars, take a whole lot of good pictures of different areas.
Yep.
Get a picture of this intersection here and there. That way you know what they look like originally,
Yeah.
basically.
Now we have behind us 1965 Ford Mustang convertible. Original price $26,414. Breaks down all the information there. Again, this is a Savoy car.
And again, this is just like we were just discussing, the fitment of the front end here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
this is,
so-
this is what they really look like.
You know, I sweat it all the time, and I know other people do as well. And it's hard to not try to fix all these sort of gap issues, but these cars were like that.
And it's,
Now, we're assuming, of course, that these are the original panels on this
and-
car.
as well.
We don't know if this was.
We don't know its history.
Let's move on to the next one in display, and this is a nice bright yellow 55 Ford Thunderbird. Gives you some details about that. These were neat cars. You know, they started off, at least from my impression, to compete with the Corvette, or the two competed against each other over time. And of course, the Thunderbird grew into a much bigger car than it probably ever should have. I think they should have kept it kind of like this in the smaller two-seater realm.
But I see the Thunderbird as going after a little different market than a Corvette would.
Well, true, yeah, it was not.
Different kind of customer,
Yeah,
which is fine. You need to cater to all of them.
yep. So here's a Dodge Royal Lancer, 1955. Ah, all the chrome.
I'm just looking at the door. That is a big door. Just the height. Of the door.
I just like all the accents. You know, it's got obviously the two-tone, well, three-tone. It's got a black roof on it
Yeah.
too.
No,
But
I'm one for dechroming. Just like you love chrome. I'm one for dechroming.
Well,
But when I see cars like now
Yeah, this car
is
has to
a
have
different-
chrome.
It fits these cars. It looks perfect.
yeah, you know, got gold-plated V8 emblems. Wow, all these chrome, and that's a very unique color. It's not red. I don't even know what I'd call that. That's a really odd. That's an odd.
Watered down Pepto-Bismol?
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
I'm not sure. What year was this again?
55.
55.
Now, I will say I saw this car in their back lot whenever I stopped in previously just for a quick visit. This is a 1934 Chrysler Airflow, and when I saw it, this was all apart because they had a problem with the radiator. So this, I've been fascinated by these cars for a long time. Just a very unique design, and I think that there was a limited production of these. I don't know what the numbers were. It probably says it on the thing up front, but just a beautiful car overall.
And a lot of engineering that went into it at the time.
Yeah, a lot of
Ahead its
engineering.
time.
Like this chrome on the side, instead of being painted, that's actual chrome, which is really cool. So let's just take a quick look. It says number produced 7,226. So controversial styling, gives you some information there.
And it was also meant to be a much safer car as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I know
Remember
they,
correctly, this is the one that they did the video where they pushed it off the cliff and it rolled.
Right,
it
and then
still
they started it up and drove it
ran
away, yep.
yeah.
1932 Buick Model 67. So 32, again, I refer back to the Model A and the crudeness of the Model A in comparison to stuff like this. Now, again, that was the market, though. They were selling cars to the people that could afford them, and these cars are built to a much higher level for the people that could afford them. So there's no fault in the Model A. It's just showing that how much of a difference there was in the quality or level of build. You know, if you could afford one of these, you would buy one of these. But if you have to buy a Model A, that's what you bought. And that's fine. There was nothing wrong with that.
And one thing I like is I like the pinstriping on it. It really gives it that little bit of detail.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. Now this is something completely different. Is this a Zephyr?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, okay. Lincoln Zephyr. This is kind of an odd car. It's almost like you have a camper on the back of your coupe. It's so big. I mean, I know that business coupe style vehicles were popular back in the day, and I'm sure you have access to this area. Like you could lay down. I think Robert could lay down back
I
there.
could lay down in there.
That is
Easily.
a huge space.
Comfortably lay down in there.
Massive car. So let's see, I think 39, is that correct? Yeah, 39 Lincoln Zephyr. They only made 2,500 of them. Original price $1,320. Gives you all the information there. Zephyr's V12 engine. Says it could get 20 miles per gallon. Maybe. But man, what a big car.
Pretty aerodynamic for its time, actually.
I would say so.
I would assume it is.
Yeah, it would have to be. Gee, you split the wind there. Oh, here's a Buick Roadmaster. 4-door hardtop. Series 75.
Yeah, again, look at that bumper.
So,
That is a
original
bumper.
price. Dream car styling. Yeah, that's a lot. It's a lot of bumper.
That's a lot of weight hanging off the nose of the car.
Yeah, this car didn't care though.
No.
Again, that's a unique color. It's almost like a copper.
It's kind of getting similar to that early Mustang color that was a rarity.
Yeah,
I can't remember what
starts
it was
with a
called.
B.
Which I do kind of like that color now that I've seen
Yeah,
it.
me too.
Somebody brought it up. I'm kind of, I kind of like that.
Yeah, that definitely has a. Whew. Roadmaster
It
75.
rode nice though.
Man, that's a big car.
Yeah. But I bet it rode nice.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to this 1937 Cord Model 812. This is cool because, man, it had hideaway headlights. What car had hideaway headlights prior to this? Or after? You look at the time periods, in the, 70s maybe?
Yeah, I guess we're starting to. Yeah.
Well, you had the Corvettes ended up
Yeah,
with the flip-up
yeah,
lights
yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
like that, but there was other.
And a few that had the headlight doors, just a door to cover it
Yeah.
as well.
Well, this may very well be a door, but as
Yeah,
far, instead of
yeah.
moving the headlights, but I'm just saying, still they were concealed.
That just, it's like sitting in an airplane.
Yeah.
It just has that feel.
Look at the paint.
Suicide door.
Man. So 3,100 produced. Oh, with front-wheel drive.
Yep.
I did not realize that.
If I remember correctly, it was essentially derived from a tractor-type transmission. It's been a while, but the Auburn Duesenberg and Cord Museum has a lot of this, and they have a display of how it was all set up. It's an interesting drivetrain.
So we're going to look at this Lincoln. And looky here, you got this exhaust coming out of the bumper. Again, a really big, big vehicle. This thing probably weighs at least 2 tons. The front, I wouldn't even want to try to lift that front seat. This is another unique color. It's almost like a
Purplish?
purple. Yeah, it's purple, but so 56 Lincoln Continental Mark II. You only made 2,550 of them. Weight 4,825 pounds, almost 2.5 tons.
That's a lot of weight going down the road. But again, probably a nice ride going down
Oh
the
yeah, I'm sure it was.
road. Once you got up to speed after going downhill.
I mean, I'm sure it moves for what it is.
Yeah.
Now here we have one more in this, well, 2 more, I should say, in this display. So here we have a Highway Auto Body Thunderbird, it says on the side here. So we're going to look at, see what this is. So 1956 Hillegas Sprint race car. Man, exhaust coming down the sides. That's so cool looking.
It's just such a cool. This is something I would just like. I just want to get them done. I want to drive it down right around town, down the street.
Yeah.
It'd just be so much fun.
He wants me to put disc brakes on. Yeah.
And so here you have the 1987 Ralt RT31. Apparently it doesn't show any, I don't see anything here that talks about winning. Gives some breakdown podium finishes. So ATS wheels. I'm not gonna try to say that. Ratzenberger driver.
The seats are tufted.
But what's funny is this is a cool car, but almost by today's standards, it's like this is a big go-kart.
Oh yeah, that's what it is.
You know,
it's a big go-kart. I like the wings on the side with the downdraft.
I would assume they get some pretty decent suction against the ground with that.
Yeah, you can drive it up the side of a wall. All right, let's move on. We're going to stop in at Gallery A. Now this is prominent Packards, so you can see the information there on this board, and this is just incredible. When you come in here, you'll see these cars all on display in incredible condition. But you look at this particular display, 1931 Packard 845 convertible roadster. So it gives you some information here, original price, gives you some of the history, options and stuff like that. And this car is on loan from Donald Garib and his daughter Elizabeth Garib of Vestavia Hills, Alabama. So all these cars are owned by private individuals, and they're on display by request of the Savoy Museum. And I just can't say enough about this. I have a 1931 Model A Ford that looks like a pile of junk next to this. Same time period, but you look at what the incredible design of this thing. I've said it before, the Model A is like a glorified tractor. And you compare it to something like this, it's hard to imagine. Now, of course, the Model A sold for next to nothing in comparison to these cars.
And just when you look at the board at the front, look at those prices on just the additions to this car.
Yeah, the add-ons and stuff like
The
that.
add-ons were more than what a Model A would have cost.
Yeah. Look, it has 2 spare tires.
Yeah. Beautiful car.
And of course, I'm assuming it's going to be a rumble seat in the back. Just immaculate. We're going to go on and look at the next round here, and I'm just going to kind of go around the room. They're not necessarily in order by year, but here's a 1941 Packard Super 8 180. Original price $35.45. And as I was saying before, these cars are on display per request by the Savoy Museum. So they rotate cars in and out. I think they said about monthly. They'll change a collection out. So if you're ever coming to visit here, these are not likely going to be here. It'll be another collection, and you'll have to just kind of enjoy what is here on display. But again, just beautiful, beautiful vehicles. Here we have another fine example. And of course, you'll remember that Packard and Studebaker merged together at some point, and unfortunately both companies went out of business after that, in effect. But here's a 1947 Packard Custom Super 8 Clipper. 48 Packard Standard 8 station wagon. Again, this one is doesn't show who this is on loan from, actually. I was expecting it to have that, but it says Packard Standard 8 on the bottom there. I don't see a specific group.
That should be one of their cars, I believe.
Yeah, this would actually be, you're right.
Yeah.
So this is one of the cars from Savoy, apparently. I mean, obviously, you're not going to find that paint in 1947, but look at that woodwork they did. They tried to do this, the wood grain, this is actual wood, so I guess you could call this a woody.
Look in the back. Check out the back. That is beautifully done back there.
It is. Here we have another Packard, of course. 1949 Packard Super 8 convertible. Again, this does not have a name on the bottom, so we're going to say that this is owned by Savoy. Just beautiful, beautiful cars. And these are not little cars. I mean, these are huge vehicles.
No, that hood is a good about 7 feet
About
long.
7 feet long. All right, now here we have 1924 Packard 136. Original price $4,550. Now imagine that. The Model A's were selling for $400.
Yeah, like $400 or $500. I forget what's in
So
that range, yeah.
1924. So this would have been Model T era, and on loan from the Lane family in Madison, Georgia. So again, there's some information down here, but my goodness, this car is 20 some feet long, maybe. Got to be close to that. I don't even know what size these tires are, but I'm assuming the rim is like 24 inches. So here's Robert as a comparison.
I mean, it's
So yeah, that tire is about
almost at my hip.
almost 3 feet tall. But here, little trunk there.
I love this in cars back then, because this is the way cars should be today. Because you can put your kids back here and they don't bother you.
I don't think that's a jump seat though. I think that's actually a trunk.
Even better.
Even better. Because this one opens forward.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, you're
So
right. Yeah.
you can stuff your kids in there.
Even better. Even better.
But I mean, this is, and like this little side seat is just like a jump seat looking thing.
Oh,
rather than, there's a little seat in the back.
Well, there's a door back there. So
Yeah.
I'm guessing you had glove box storage,
Yeah.
drinks, whatever.
But again, the paint would not have looked anything like this in that time period. So obviously, just deep paint.
And
1924
I'm looking-
Packard.
And I'm looking at the curves, and I'm looking for a ripple in the curve and something, and I can't find anything
No.
anywhere.
I mean, I see a little, just like this panel right here, there's a little thing, but that's,
Yes, but like in the long curve.
Yeah, well, the
it's
fenders are
it's
just
they
incredible.
It just goes, and even on the
Yeah.
back, the one over there. Just
now this
nice.
this is different. I've never seen one.
With a partial hardtop.
Well, and it has
Is it
a
retractable?
mechanism inside there.
I did not know that existed.
That's different.
Yeah.
So here it shows it up front here. 1953 Packard Caribbean or Caribbean. And it shows a picture there. This is on loan from Marion Benson. So here's a picture, right? Look, Robert. There it is with the removed top. And there it is with
I'm
Hardtop.
wondering if that part opens up and then you pull. You know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm going to
But look at this.
That is cool.
Look at that scoop.
Yeah. Look at how far ahead of its time it was.
But that, so I don't know.
Because that's a soft top looking right there.
Well,
So I'm
I think this
wondering if
comes off.
This comes off.
It does.
And then,
Yeah, that has
like a
to come off.
Miata kind of thing,
Yeah.
where you take this off and then you pull.
It's like a transformer. It's got a lot of variables.
Yeah.
You can do all kinds of stuff. So here we have another Woody version. This is a 120, 1941 Packard 120 Woody Wagon Deluxe. The original price in 1941 was $1,500.
Wow, that was a deal compared to some.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that was because of the wood doors that lowered the price on it.
I don't know, but look at all the seating you have in this thing.
Yeah.
It's like a Suburban.
Yeah, I was going to say suburban ahead of its time. Yeah.
It's all that woodwork, yeah. Oh wow, this is interesting. So it's got the storage area back here, a trunk in the back, a trunk. Now that grill looks like it opens.
Yeah.
Like you've got some sort of mechanism in there. So
Yeah.
1934 Packard Coupe Model 1101. Doesn't have a list price. It does say it's on loan from the estate of Harvey Knight. This was it says one of these was awarded to driver Louis Meyer for winning the Indy 500.
I'd like to know what activates the louvers, though.
Yeah, it's
temperature
probably
or
some
manual.
sort of. Well, it's hard to say. There may be a mechanical. There's a lever underneath the dash that I'm assuming that may operate. There's a rod sticking down. I would venture that it's mechanical.
Yeah.
So here we have a really pretty yellow. Packard 8. So 1937 Packard Model 120 convertible. Again on loan from the estate of Harvey Knight.
Okay, and this one's got the louvers open on it.
There we go. And I would have to say those.
So he said the lever into the dash.
There was something under this. Now this one looks more permanent. I don't think these open.
That was just, that's a active one, and this one is.
I think these look like they're brazed.
Okay.
So these are meant to be open all the time.
Oh, okay.
But I think that one
That
was got some adjustment on it. I always thought this was cool, having these steps
Yes.
to get up into that. Look, there's a side storage compartment.
I've been looking at the paint job on it. It's so nice.
Two inside mirrors.
Wiper motor up there.
Yeah. And here we have a 1930 Packard 740 Roadster. On loan from the Classic Car Club of America, American Museum, Hickory Corners, I guess, Michigan. So, original information there. I just really like the Packard. And when I think about these, I sometimes think of like Duesenberg and
Yes,
you know, because of how they're built. But it's a shame that obviously they went out of business. This one also has the jump steps.
But it's just a stylish car. These are just.
Oh yeah,
it has
look at
so
the
much
exhaust.
style.
Look at the flattened out exhaust tip. That's pretty cool. All right, we're going to move on to the next gallery and see what's there. Okay, so as we move out of Gallery A, we're going to go to Gallery B. And you see there's some other ones over here to the right. But let me show you the details of what Gallery B is. And this is what they call Savoy Survivors. So the definition of a survivor vehicle has slight variations amongst judging. May be entirely original or may have certain features such as paint, chassis, upholstery, engine, compartment that are essentially as delivered from the factory. So that's a requirement, as original as possible. So there's about 5 cars in here. We'll do a quick walk around. I know that most of us are more interested in American cars, but here is a 1973 Saab 96, and pretty nice example. We'll say that. Now this is really nice. So we have a 1988 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme Classic. Original price $13,000 in '88. Number produced 15,000. And this does not show it as being. This may be a Savoy car because it does not have anybody listed as on loan from. But I don't know, if it's been repainted or not. I don't know for sure. But here we have the nice cushy soft interior that these cars came with. Automatic on the floor. I'll have to go around and see. I don't know if it has a tack or not. T-top car.
I think it does actually.
So these, were a popular car, and they're still popular. And people are seeking these out. Maybe not as much as they once were. So yeah, it does have a tack, speedo. These were very much the same in basic function as a
The Malibu.
Malibu. That's what I wanted to say. The Malibu, Monte Carlo,
the Regal.
the Regal,
there was
Grand National,
all the
all
G-bodies,
basically shared the same.
Even the El Camino
basic.
was essentially the same thing.
Yep. So this is and while we're here, this is the theater, and I'm going to show you a brief segment on this theater so you can take a look at that. So we are in the theater here at the Savoy Museum, and Lisa is going to tell us about the theater and what it offers. And it's not normally open, but we're going to have a look and see what's going on.
Yeah, Barry, you want to walk with me this
Sure.
way and I'll show you around.
Okay.
So this is our presentation theater, which we primarily have open for special programs and evening events.
Okay.
And it has seating for 297 people.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and so it's a great facility for us. We are able to use it for our events and then also rent it out as a space for other types of events that the community
So maybe a
might be
private
having.
event or
Private
something
events,
like that?
et cetera, yes.
So whenever you use this, obviously it's got this really nice screen. It kind of has like an IMAX feel to that screen.
Yes.
Lots of seating up here, of course.
Beautiful Seats are designed to almost like reflect what you would see in an automobile. And then if you'll notice, we also have a turntable stage. That allows us to bring vehicles into the facility.
Okay, from that side entrance.
Absolutely. We can put a car on the stage. We can rotate the stage. So if you are here for a presentation, you're able to see all aspects of the car. Yes, makes it great.
So basically, if you had a group that had a unique car they wanted to put on display and have their maybe their club or something come in,
Yes,
so they
this
can do a
could be an
discussion.
option for them.
Right. So they can talk about this is the features of this car.
Yes.
Blah blah blah,
Yes.
and just kind of give an overview of it, and being able to have that rotation, that's pretty cool.
Yes, we also have cameras that are positioned, so if we want to look down onto the vehicle and see something
Oh,
up
yeah,
close,
and put it on the
up
screen?
on the screen.
Okay.
That's a possibility also.
Right.
So it's a great place. We also do once a month, we have a program or a series called Movies at the Museum. And so we will show an actual, usually car-related type movie in this theater.
Okay. I know that when I went to SEMA a few years back, this is back when the Ford versus Ferrari movie was coming out.
Yes, we had that in here too.
That's fantastic. I got to see that as a premiere while I was there, and I could just envision it here. I'm sure the sound system is incredible and
It
everything
is.
else. So this is super nice.
And we do a combination of movies for adults and children.
Okay.
So there's something for all ages.
Well, if we're like, us, we're car guys, so we're really just big kids anyway. That's what it comes down to.
Absolutely.
just have bigger toys.
Yes,
So
yes.
this is very cool. Thank you for showing us
You're
this.
quite welcome. I'm happy to share it with you.
And as we continue on, I'm going to go all the way to the back here. I want to show you some of this artwork too. This is really cool to see. They give you some placards as to who painted it and the history, I guess, of the artwork. And this goes all the way around this whole display area. So some of the stuff I'd like to have myself. I really like that one in particular. But it's really just a cool example of artwork. Now, as we go through here, this is another Packard. And we'll come up here, it says Packard Clipper. And this is a 1953 Packard Clipper Deluxe. Now this is, again, must be a Savoy owned vehicle because it does not show anything as to who it's on loan from. Gives the original list price, number produced, all that sort of thing. Really nice example. This looks very similar because it is a 53. If you look at cars from 53, the 53 Chevy, even the Fords, all of them shared this kind of shape. It was pretty common, this bulged out quarters and stuff like that. And you can see this is an automatic. And as a survivor, this is really nice.
This is impressive.
Very, very nice car. So this is an Oldsmobile 88. These little features back in the day, these little standoffs and stuff like that, just kind of cool to see. Now, obviously, it's got some weathering from being original, gaskets and stuff like that. And here we have, again, looks to be an automatic. Interesting color for that time period.
Very modern color today, actually.
Yeah, 1950 Olds 88. Again, this must be a Savoy collection car. Number produced, 141,000. Original price, $1,860. So here you have an example, number 87 at the Darlington Car Museum. And of course we need to have a Ford in the display. I'm going to assume this is a manual shift car, and it is. And this is a 1941 Ford Deluxe Coupe. Original price $750. So again, as a survivor type of car, this is pretty incredible.
And the other thing that is really important about these survivor cars is not the fact that it's just that it survived, the fact that if you're restoring one of these cars, you have a car that you can go and look at and you can know exactly what things are supposed to look like. You have a reference with these cars.
I like the plastic on the seats. I'm going to say that's probably not the original plastic.
It was probably added a few days later.
Yeah, very cool. All right, we finished up with Gallery B. We're going to go to Gallery C, and this is Supercars. 4 main factors when considering which cars meet the supercar status: performance, price, design, and rareness. So that's the basic write-up for that. Now, this has 5 cars on display. And so the history on this car, you'll see on the front, it says Truett. Now, obviously that's a Lamborghini Countach, and the understanding was this car was sold by the Cathy family in order to fund a program called WindShape. And later on, one of his sons found the car and bought it back. So it's now back in the Cathy family. And this was, Truett Cathy had quite the car collection. So moving on, we have a Ferrari. Hard to beat a Ferrari, to be honest. You know, it's funny though, I've seen this style of wheel on production, like aftermarket cars. You could buy those style of wheel, but they look much better on a Ferrari. So looks like a 5-speed. Man, that would be fun to take for a ride. I don't know what model this is. Oh, here we go. 1985 Ferrari 288 GTO. And this is on loan from the Amin collection, I guess. Original price $83,000, built by Ferrari. Doesn't give me a production. Oh, here it is, number produced 272. 83 grand, that seems reasonable. But you couldn't buy it today for that.
No.
That was 1985 numbers.
No. You're pretty much buying a new SUV for that, or pickup truck.
Yeah. So here everybody should know what this is. We have a Viper. Bunch of carbon fiber accents, little wings up on the front and stuff.
Carbon fiber rotors in it too.
Never had a chance to drive one of these.
Like I said, it's got the carbon brake rotors on it too. Brake rotors cost as much as some people's cars.
Yeah. So, this is a 2017 Dodge Viper ACR Extreme. Original price at $119,000 base. Produced 193 of these things. And this is on loan from John and Vicki Temple of Tyrone, Georgia. Yeah, that would be a fun car to drive, but you want to take it on a track. I wouldn't want to drive this on the street.
No.
All right, so this is 2020 Ford GT. 1,350 produced. It says total planned for 2016 to 2022. Base price $491,000. And this is on loan from Mark Thompson in Cartersville, Georgia, which is local. But oh my goodness. What a machine.
This is what happens when you let engineers have fun.
Yeah. Yeah. What a beauty. What a beauty. There's your radiator up front there.
And you get as much air as you can through there for extra downforce.
Wow, what a car. Look at the size of that rotor. Like the width.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
like that's like 3.5 inches of plate for contact surface.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easily.
It doesn't even, it stops on half a dime.
Yeah. And look at the size of the calipers and the
Yeah.
brake pads are good.
Yeah.
Geez, 4 inches in some
That's
spots.
what I'm saying. It stops on half a dime. All right, so here we have a 2009 Lamborghini Murcielago LP 640 Roadster on loan from Ed Bullion of VinWiki in Alpharetta, Georgia. So number produced 11, original price $345,000. And he says, when Ed finally found it, this was the worst example of a manual transmission Lamborghini LP Roadster. So it says, had the dubious distinction of having 2 Carfax accident reports to its name, making it the perfect Ed car. To his dismay, when the car finally arrived, it was in worse shape than he anticipated. When damaged, the previous owner spray painted it with what he had on hand. Ed was not afraid of tackling a big reconditioning. For a cool exotic car, to restore the car to its original condition meant sending it back to the factory. Ed decided to forgo a concours level restoration and opted for a cars and coffee presentation. With the bodywork complete, painting the car was the next hurdle. To ensure a consistent matte black finish, the car was wrapped. Eventually, Ed may put on an XPEL Stealth PPF finish on the car. So, apparently this car's had a rough life.
And for a wrapped car.
Yeah, it looks like
good.
it does look good.
And maybe you could do that on the hood of the Mustang for the
Oh,
flat
you
black.
could actually. Yeah. Pretty amazing. The last 2 cars we're going to look at are on display out here in the main hall adjacent to the Indy cars. So here we have a 1992 Jaguar XJ220 on loan from Randy Green in Sandy Springs, Georgia. Number produced 282. Original price $831,000. You can see it has a European license plate on it. This is definitely a unique design. A bit different from the aerodynamic standpoint. To me, this kind of, in effect, reminds me of like a Ford Probe, the way they were shaped. But definitely a different looking car. Looks like something you'd see out of a movie.
Actually, the last Knight Rider 2000 car kind of has some of similar stretched out, theming to it.
Man, this is cool.
I would not want to work on that engine.
No. I wouldn't want to work on it at all. And then we have this 1995 Ferrari F50. So, number produced 349, original price $487,000. And look at some of the details. Like, you have the exhaust coming out the back, which is, normal. But what you can't tell easily is this is just a screen, basically. So you can get airflow across the engine. And, of course, transparent engine cover, essentially.
It's like a carbon fiber intake as well.
Man, those seats are going to hang on to you. So it's got a 6-speed transmission by the looks of it. Pretty amazing.
I'd have to get out of this car like a Miata, where I open the door and I just crawl out onto the ground before I can stand up.
Yeah. Okay, so we're outside of the main building, and now Bruce, the curator here at Savoy, is going to give us a tour of their storage facility. So these are obviously cars that would be used in their rotation, but not on display.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
So that's always the reaction we get.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one gentleman from Finland who actually kind of dropped to his knees and goes, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah.
Yeah, so as you can see here, so the total square footage of the building is 35,000 square feet.
Okay.
We use 25,000 of it here in this main storage facility. And so what you see here is these are cars in our collection. So we have around 130 cars in the Savoy collection.
Okay.
We have 49 of these 49 of these bin pack triple lifts. So this
Okay.
is how we are able to store
Yeah.
so many
Yeah.
cars. And so this building was purposefully built with the triple lifts in mind
Sure.
when we did it.
So you have 59 Ben Pack lifts,
49.
49, I'm sorry. And so you have about 150 cars.
So we have, like I said, we have 130 in our collection, and some of them are out there. So you'll see some of these are empty.
Okay,
So,
all right.
But we use
Potential
this-
for.
We use this building for logistics.
Yeah.
You know, just like we were saying that, you know, we're changing
That
out
stuff
a
is
gallery
coming, that
every
stuff's coming
month.
in and out. Yeah.
Exactly. And so we try and use our cars first.
Sure.
As much as possible, but obviously there's certain exhibits that we have that we can't use our cars. You know, obviously the Indy car, Supercars, and even the Packards, I had to borrow half of
Yeah,
those Packards that were in there. And so you can kind of see we have quite a variety.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we go anywhere from that 1903 curved dash olds up to our newest is a 2019 Shelby Super Snake F-150 up there. But yeah, we have a lot of them.
And some of these are restored style, but some are custom, like this Ford up here with
Exactly,
the, you know,
yeah, so
custom
if-
lowered and all that sort of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So we have a mixture of both, mainly original style, but we do have a few customs you can see
Look at
as
that.
you're walking around
A
here.
Pacer X.
Yeah, we did an exhibit called "Built for a Crisis," and I was trying to figure a way to show our Pacer, our Pinto, our Gremlin.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, we can talk about the, you know.
Yeah, and everybody gives a lot of hate to the Pacer. As soon as you sit in the car, it's like, wow, there's a lot of room in this car. It's
Yeah.
comfortable.
Yeah, it is. It's so funny when we got this and we put it out there in the Savoy collection. You know, you're out there in the Savoy collection, and so many people came up to it and go, "Oh my gosh, I remember this." You
Yeah.
know, so it's one of those cars you don't think of in a museum, but people really relate to it. That's one of the things we like to.
I mean, when I grew up in Hawaii, one of the cars we had a Gremlin.
Oh yeah, we got one of those over
We had
there.
a Gremlin.
It's funny that I borrowed 2 cars from the GM Heritage Center up in Detroit, and they loaned us the #1 Vega, so VIN #1.
Okay.
And then they loaned us a bicentennial Chevette. So it had red, white, and blue
Oh.
interior.
That is cool.
So it was pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, you can see, you know,
Yeah, definitely some unique.
yeah, the
Vehicles.
Kaiser Dragon you don't see too many of. You know,
No.
this is their top of the line. Yeah, you can actually see a restored '69 Corvair.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. The Dodge Dart.
And I like seeing a variety.
Yeah.
That's what to me is what's important. I want to see a little bit of everything.
Oh, Vista Cruiser,
Oh, yeah.
Tornado.
yeah, we used to drive that Vista Cruiser around quite a bit. So,
Well, my background, my dad had a junkyard growing up, so I've been around pretty much most of these cars you have in here. It was cars from the 50s, 60s, 70s.
yep.
So a lot of these I've either taken apart or worked on, you know, for other people.
Is that an actual Willis over there?
Galaxy
Yeah.
500.
Yeah, so this is the Willys Bermuda up here. Is that the one you meant, or did you mean
Well, the Jeep or either one of you.
Yeah, that's actually a Bermuda, so you don't see too many of those.
There's a lot of these you just won't ever see.
No.
Yeah, this is one of our resto modded cars, so it's
Yep.
50 convertible. So we have a his and hers. We actually have a truck. It's the
On a-
exact
okay.
same color and has the same powertrain, same interior
Okay.
inside. So
So there's a Ford Orchestine.
yeah, so that one went on the Great Race. So we loaned it to the RPM Foundation.
Oh, nice.
For the X Cup for the kids. So
Yeah.
they drove it around last year. Unfortunately, lost the last 2 cylinders as they're going through the mountains. So
Studebaker Golden Hawk. My dad was a Studebaker fan, so we had over 100 Studebakers in our junkyard.
we're going to do a Studebaker exhibit coming up in April next year.
Oh, I may have to come up for that.
And unfortunately, it never happened.
Whoa.
Yeah, so this is a 1918 Locomobile, and we're a nonprofit museum. And this was actually one of the donated cars, so he donated this. We just picked it up
Wow.
this week. And yeah, so Jack Goff.
Okay, I will say I've never seen one of those.
Yeah, these were really high end.
Yeah.
So you know, if you look at this thing, it's just
Okay.
incredible.
And for scale,
Yeah. It's
Again.
It's above your
Yeah, I
head.
think
the
those
tire.
are 37s, if I remember right.
Wow. What a big
Yeah.
car. And what was this again?
1918 Locomobile.
Loco.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at this thing, even the accelerator pedal has like a leather cover over the pedal.
Wow.
You know, and this color, if this is the original
Yep.
color, back then, of course, most of the Model A's, Model T's were very limited
Right.
in color choices. This is very similar to Grabber Blue from a 70 Mustang.
Oh, yeah.
Very similar, a little bit lighter.
And you wanted to be seen and noticed with that color.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, these were expensive cars.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I could imagine. Wow.
Yeah, you can see a couple of the cars left over from our moonshine. runners.
Moonshiner Run. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Ooh. That's really cool.
Look at the back.
So you got an Avanti back there, a Pinto.
Yeah, so we got here. Let me open this for you.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good looking Pinto. Man.
It's hard to say that, but
I know. I know. It's just weird that came out.
Dude, let's go
but-
together.
it's a good-looking Pinto. It's like,
All you Pinto people.
yeah, I mean, I say that in jest because that's probably the worst color you could ever put on a Pinto.
Yeah.
But
But it's just the condition.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, that one has 50,000 original miles. If I remember right.
man. Yep. And what year's that one, you know?
70. What
It's
is
got to
it?
be probably 72, so it's an early, I think 71 was the first year, if I remember correctly.
I almost bought one of those one time.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a, oh, it's a Crosley, okay.
There was one that came up for sale not too far from me. And
Yeah, they're fun for around town, but, or, you know, you have a neighborhood where you can drive golf carts.
Yeah. So here is a look at an Avanti. So this has to be what, 60, it's a 63, okay.
60, yeah.
Yeah, my dad had a 63 R1 Avanti. Of course, you know, if you know the Studebakers, you got the R1, R2, R3 packages with the superchargers. You got a Corvette over there, another Corvette, several
Yeah, this
Corvettes.
is kind of Corvette area here. You know, we got the 67 big block, 427, 435 horse, 4-speed convertible. Got a really nice 57 that we restored. So
Yeah.
you can kind of see
Oh, yes.
it. So,
And these are all Savoy cars.
yeah, these are all part
Okay.
of the Savoy collection. So they'll come out for different exhibits and or into the Savoy gallery. One of my favorite cars is the 60 Biscayne.
Yep.
So 348 tri-power, 4-speed. So,
Yeah, you don't see that very often anymore.
right. That, you were talking about sleeper cars. That's a
Yeah. Well, and you got it looks like a 454 SS truck up there that,
yeah. So that one actually only has 113 miles
oh my gosh.
on it. Same with the I don't know if you see the Vega.
I do see the Vega.
So that's the Cosworth Vega.
Oh, okay.
That one has just under 60 miles.
Wow.
59 miles. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, and an El
59
Camino.
El Camino.
Nice. 57 Chevys.
Yeah. we got
Variety of
Black Widow
those.
clone,
You've got,
and like I said, you got
55.
there's some that are kind of resto modded. You know, like this is an example of
sure.
the resto modded. You can kind of see
Oh, yeah.
inside.
Yep.
nice. Very nice.
Very cool. Some more 55s. 55,
That's
50.
a Nomad. The 50
Oh, okay, it is. That is a Nomad.
Yep.
And you got a truck up there. That's a 50.
That's the Apache, I think.
Yeah, that's an Apache. That's big back window too, I think. Yep.
So that's a 55 3100.
Okay.
So
Yeah, the 5s and 6s look pretty much the same. So we've got some Camaros here. We don't want to hold you up if you got
that
to
one has
go.
like 25,000.
Wow.
So that was a donated vehicle also.
Okay.
So,
I was asking because I saw the road rash on it.
Yep.
I was curious.
Yep, yeah, it's got
Yeah.
25.
And I've got an 84 one of those over there at El Camino.
So
It's
this,
got fire on it.
this is how we actually move the cars around a lot.
Oh,
This stringo. So
I
think
need
of
one
a
of those.
pallet jack for cars.
yeah.
So this just goes like, say, under the front of the vehicle, and you can, if it's a little bit longer, you know, you can move it in and out.
Yeah.
You have the wheels hit right here,
Yeah.
and those arms, exactly.
Yeah.
They just push it right up the rollers, and once it's on here, you can just move the vehicle this easy.
Oh man.
Well, when I win the
saves us
lottery
so much
and I move and we build a big shop.
Yeah.
It saves us so much effort.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this diamond T, this was just donated also
Wow.
to us.
Don't think I've seen one of those.
I can't remember the year. I think it's 46 or 47.
That is a big truck.
Yeah.
That is a
Yeah, that's not something you go pick up, you know, a little load of lumber. You pick up the whole house with this one.
Yeah, they said they used it as a farm truck.
I would say so, yeah.
So,
But I'm sure it was a bit more rough whenever they started on it.
yeah.
Now, you know, these trucks got used and abused.
That was the point.
Oh, there's a Prowler?
yeah, so we have a Prowler. We're getting ready to do a Japanese collectible car exhibit starting in December.
Oh, wow.
So you can see
You got
starting to get
some
in.
showing up, yeah.
So you can see the Skyline, you can see the NSX, you can see the Toyota 2000 GT. So
Wow. That's some pretty incredible stuff right there.
yeah,
I mean,
and
like,
we're
I've
not
never
done.
seen one of
You
those,
should
yeah.
see-
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Let me.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so you probably haven't seen this Isuzu before, maybe. Or maybe you have, I don't know.
No, I've never seen one of these.
Yeah, so I think it's a 67, if I remember.
Wow. Now, they came painted like that?
Yep.
Type R.
Yeah,
So-
so this is the, kind of the race version.
Whoa.
So,
Oh, and it's right-hand drive.
yeah, so a lot of these are kind of Japanese domestic market cars.
Man.
Same, you know, with the Toyota 2000 GT. So, this one actually borrowed from Bobby Rahal. So,
Okay.
he had it there at Hilton Head Island Concourse and was
2000
kind enough to loan it to
GT.
us.
So this,
Yeah, they actually, if you remember, I don't remember, there was a James Bond movie that Sean Connery was in. They had
Okay.
Toyota 2000 GT. And he was a little too tall.
yeah.
And if I remember right, they actually cut the top off, and there was like two convertible ones running around, but his head
His-
didn't fit,
he was
so
too
didn't
tall.
quite fit. You
Yeah.
can see how small this car is. Just compare it to the
Well,
Skyline.
and you know, when you look at this, what I see initially is a mimic of the 240Z,
Yep.
the way that
Yeah.
shape is in the back, but it's got a Jaguar
It's got a
more
Jag
nose
type
to
on the
it.
nose. That's what I was, yeah.
Yeah, isn't that? And you can see this Skyline here, which has that
Oh,
Yeah.
paint that flops
Yeah.
as you walk.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I've,
Are they gonna have any K cars?
yes.
Okay. I want a K truck.
and this is right-hand drive as well.
We have AutoZam EZ1. You know that car?
Yeah.
It's the one with the gull-wing doors.
Yeah. Best friend they grew up with.
Oh, okay.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, these, like I say, this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah,
So, you know, you can see some of the other cars we got.
yep,
Like that, what's interesting, like the NASCAR that was donated to us
Yeah.
from Mark Thompson, he was the oldest Daytona 500 driver. This is 2018. That's where the car's from. So he was the oldest to start and finish the Daytona 500 at 66 years old.
wow.
And that's the way I want to see it.
Right.
I want
I mean,
to
it
see
still has the tabs on the window.
Oh, yeah, the pull-offs, yeah.
And all the bugs. And this is another donated car, this Salt Flats car. So it was a local
Okay.
couple out of Rome. They went 20 years. They set 8 different speed records.
Oh, cool.
Can't beat a Nova with a 396 in it. Well, very, very cool. It's cute. That is a good way to put it. Oh, and I walk right past the DeLorean.
Yeah, and that would almost fit in my check luggage.
Yeah.
Then we just have our detail bay up here.
Okay.
So, you know, we do light mechanical, just brakes, fuel, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's also where we detail.
So what do you charge for a detail?
That's right. Well, have to ask Zach and or Eric.
Yeah, that'd be a good service to offer when you're not
So
busy.
you see a couple more cars for the Japanese.
Okay.
You know, so Mazda Cosmo,
Yeah.
Mazda Cosmo. I've never seen one of
and then a
those.
Honda S660. So,
Again, right-hand drive. I'd have a hard time figuring that out. Trying to shift with my left hand. I've never seen one of those. And That's a Honda. What'd you say this was?
That's so that was a S660.
S660.
Yep. I think from 2015 is when that.
So that has, I mean, that was sold in Japan only though.
Yeah, you can see the lane.
Wow.
We borrowed this from the Lane Motor Museum in Nashville.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's been up to.
Yeah, I've been to Lane.
Yeah. So Jeff Lane and Derek Moore. So.
I like this. I don't know if I need to get it. I can just pick it up.
Got a nice little, yeah, this would be a nice shop.
Yeah.
Well, again, thank you for your time
Oh, yeah,
and
no
giving us
problem.
this background tour. I appreciate it so much. Also in the museum is the Savoy Cafe. Now in here you'll be able to get sandwiches and salads and stuff like that. There's some drinks to your right and a display of old toys and die-cast cars. The neat feature of this cafe is the ceiling over the dining area. This represents a giant wheel that is typical of the cars of the classic era. As you're dining, you can also look outside into the expansive courtyard and enjoy your meal.